eating well at home does not need to be hard. So today we're going to be putting together a new recipe to me. It sounded really pretty darn good. It's called ricotta meatballs with crispy topping. So tonight we're going to make these ricotta meatballs, and then later I'm going to show you how also to prep a vegetable that you can roast at the same time that these meatballs are in the oven. So this recipe, I've already got a pound of turkey in my bowl, and I'm going to mix in a half a cup of ricotta cheese, full fat for this one. Many times we don't eat a whole lot of gluten in my family. I don't cook with a lot of gluten, but in this case, this calls for a half a cup of panko. I have breadcrumbs, so I have a half a cup of breadcrumbs. It also calls for Parmesan cheese, so it's got half a cup of Parmesan cheese. And I have my spices and everything already measured out. This called for Italian seasoning, salt, and garlic powder. I make my own spice blends, a lot of them, and so this Italian seasoning blend I made a while ago. It was already in my cupboard, perfectly easy and great opportunity to make sure that the spices and whatever I'm putting into my food is healthy and doesn't have any additives or ingredients that I'm not happy with, right? Now, why is this so important to me, and why do I want to share healthy recipes with all of you guys on the channel? Well, it's pretty simple. I think that food is a critical part of our constitution, and we need to make sure that we're eating foods that are gonna fuel us. And if you've got small kids at home like we do, we've got a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old, I wanna make sure that they're getting healthy food too, because their bodies are still growing and developing. And I wanna make sure I can fuel them so that their bodies can heal through sickness, that they can learn while they're at school, that they have energy, that they can play outside. Food is just, it's foundational. We need to feed ourselves better. You know, if we were a Ferrari and we put diesel fuel into the tank, would the Ferrari run? No, we would never do that. But as humans, I feel like so often we fuel our bodies with suboptimal choices. And sometimes that's just because it's just a necessity, right? We're traveling and we have to eat fast food, or we're working third shift and we just need to get something in our bodies before we go, take, our nap or whatever it might be. But for the most part, what I want to make sure is that we really can fuel our bodies with good food and make sure that that can really support us on our journey of being really as healthy as possible. So this is how easy this is. Yes, I did have everything measured out, but even the measuring out beforehand didn't take me long. And guess what? I'm not going to make these 100% perfect. They're not going to be like perfectly round spheres in our pan. I'm just using this scooper because it makes it that fast and effective. But this will go into the oven for, 20 to 22 minutes at 400. And when they come out, that's when I'm going to add in some sauce. And there's a little crispy topping that calls for some more Parmesan cheese and some more panko that you just kind of sprinkle, you kind of mix it up, sprinkle it on top, and bake it for a few more minutes so it gets a little crispy and a little bit of a texture in there. So if I look at this, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13-ish meatballs in there. So our family of 4, that should be plenty for us. I'm gonna, like I said, drizzle some olive oil in here, move them around a little bit. I'm gonna pop them in the oven. I'm gonna bake them. I'll show you what they look like when they're done being baked. And I will also, in a minute here, show you how to prep some vegetables to roast as well. Roasting vegetables and healthy meals don't have to be hard. I promise we'll get you through this. Okay, so we've got our meatballs prepped. They're ready to go in the oven. I'm going to prep a roasted veggie. Tonight, I just asked my husband, Matt, if he would rather have broccoli or cauliflower. He said cauliflower. So this is how simple it is to make really good vegetables. So many people out there, I hear it all the time. I don't like vegetables. I don't eat vegetables. I don't like them. I feel like I just listened to a podcast recently that was talking about the neural circuits in your brain and how if you eat more vegetables, your body starts to like more vegetables and eat them more often. I love vegetables. When I go on vacation and I don't have vegetables for a while, I literally crave them. So I come home and I'm like, give me all of the vegetables. So roasting vegetables to go along with a meal like tonight is perfect because my oven's already going to be on. And so And if you've never had roasted cauliflower, oh, you're missing out. It almost, if you do it right, it almost like caramelizes. Oh, it's so, so tasty. So all I'm going to do at this point is I'm chopping this cauliflower into, I don't want to say bite-sized pieces, but even-sized pieces, right? And even the stem on broccoli or cauliflower, when you roast it, oh, it tastes so good. I don't like to eat a whole lot of raw broccoli or cauliflower, but when it's roasted, I could eat like an entire head, I swear. So cutting these into, again, roughly the same size pieces. And I've got my sheet pan already ready to go. I'm a giant fan of using parchment paper. I've gotten lazy in my old age, or maybe I've gotten smarter. I don't know which one it is, but I enjoy using the parchment paper because saves on cleanup, right? And some people be like, well, I use aluminum foil. I will tell you right now, try to avoid that. Aluminum foil is not your friend for many things, and anytime you can avoid cooking with it or using it, just better. Aluminum it can be really toxic to our bodies, so we don't need to have any extra exposure to it. That's just my 2 cents, but if you go out there and do some research, you'll find what I'm talking about. Now, don't get rid of these little crumblies. These little crumblies, oh, they're so good. They're like the best part of roasting cauliflower. So I've got this nicely chopped, and I've got olive oil. Now, you don't want to be really sparse with it. You also don't want it to be like sitting in olive oil and, like frying almost. But you do need to have enough where it's going to be nicely covered so it will cook. I'm using a spice again. This is by the Spice House. This is Lakeshore Shallot and Herb. This is so good. It's perfect for vegetables. It gives just the right amount of flavor, and it's easy, right? Because you're just making something that already tastes good taste even better. So the other thing with spices, most of the time you need to use a lot more than what you're used to using, right? You got to actually get it in there so you can really taste the flavor. But what I'm going to do now, I am just going to use my hands, get in there, get dirty, mix this up, get everything all sprinkled or saturated, moved around. You want to have it in a single layer. I probably could have made a little more tonight. I made a what is that? Cauliflower I'm having word problems right now. But I'm making half of the head of cauliflower, and honestly, by the time it bakes up, it shrinks down a little bit. We have a sick kiddo in my house tonight, so we have one less mouth eating, and my other mouth, my 6-year-old, doesn't do a whole lot of vegetables. I'm trying, I swear. For Matt and I, this will be plenty. I always like to have leftovers too. But once I go to put the meatballs into the oven, they're going in at 400. They're going for 20 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes. That's almost perfect what I need for this cauliflower as well. Cauliflower needs a little higher heat to really get in there and cook it. And it'll probably take 20 to 25 minutes to get this cauliflower to looking where I want it to be. So if I put them in at the same time, they should really be done at about the same time too. Oven's up to temperature. Time to put everything in. Meatballs, 20, 25 minutes until they're completely cooked through. The cauliflower, I will probably set a timer for like 12 minutes, stir it halfway through, see how it's doing. But I anticipate in 25 minutes we'll be taking everything out. I gotta mix in the sauce, put on the Crispies, put it back in for another 5 minutes. The Crispies is another mixture of some more Parmesan cheese, olive oil, and breadcrumbs that just get sprinkled on the top so it can just add a little texture to the finished product. Take a peek, see if they're cooked through. Ooh, they've got a nice browning to them. So we want to make sure they're all kind of unstuck. Cut one in half here, make sure there's no pink. Oh yeah, those are very much baked. Add our sauce. We are using a Rouse vodka sauce. I asked Matt to pick up a Michael's of New York today, which is a sauce that we really like. He forgot. So luckily we had at least one other jar in the refrigerator. We do like Rouse. We just recently found the Michael's of New York. That brand is even better. It's so good. The vodka sauce will give this a little bit of a creamier texture. I'm going to sprinkle the Crispies mixture on. This goes back in the oven for another 5 minutes to kind of heat the sauce through. 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes. I want to make sure my cauliflower is done. It's looking pretty good, but I think it needs a few more minutes yet. So it's all coming together. This did not take me much time at all. At all. It smells really good. It looks really good. Cauliflower's looking good. Like I said, 5 more minutes in there, we'll be all good. All right, so dinner is done. Just came out of the oven. It is piping hot. Looks really good. Smells pretty darn good.
I'm already eating.
You're already eating? Oh, goodness. All right, well, this recipe is from Pinch of Yum. I will link it below in the video description, but it is the ricotta meatballs with the crispy topping. That's what it's called, from Pinch of Yum. If you make it, let me know in the comments below. If you want some other recipes that you're like, I need other fast recipes for my family, let me know. But thanks for coming along for the ride today. I hope you enjoy dinner, and let's stay healthy.
It was fantastic.
Let's eat.
So apparently I was blamed for not buying sauce. It actually fell out of the bag, was in the back of my truck. It's about 20, well, I'm going to say 33 degrees because I can barely hold it. Michael's of Brooklyn. Some of the best sauce you'll ever get. Expensive, but fantastic.